is Jason Gaten. You can reach out to me on LinkedIn at jasongaten.com. I have over 20 years experience in the software as a service, IT, from startup to enterprise space, and I am going to review the cloud race. And you can see if you're familiar with the cloud. If not, that's in the middle there is Azure. To the left is Google Cloud. To the right, AWS, IBM and OpenShift, Tencent Cloud, and Oracle. And these are the leaders in the very large and quickly growing, rapidly evolving cloud market. You see that's a very big number and growing. And you see within the segment of the industry, the software as a service, with that 190, almost 191 million expected growth in 2021. So those are very large numbers, and we see companies rapidly moving. So we're going to look at some of the trends. We're going to look at the segment of infrastructure, at some of the implications of infrastructure as a service, and what that means, what that is. We're going to look at platform as a service. We're going to look at software as a service. These are some of the terms. Infrastructure as a service is, think hardware. Think software that tells hardware what is needed, where, when, how, and in a very rapid way. Everything infrastructure as a code, that's important. Infrastructure as a service is enabled by infrastructure as code. Everything in the cloud is now code. It's a set of instructions. So everything is software as a service, but on the back side of that and abstracted from that is this part of the industry, which you can see in parts per million. You can see this is a large part of the equation, infrastructure. All right, so container in the container market segment, estimated approximately 300 million, expected to grow compounded annual rate 34% to cross $1 billion by 2025. So this is huge. Why is it huge? It's because that is what we will see in some of the key focus areas of agility and resilience, enables applications and business model innovation to occur rapidly. So this is going to be the focus, and I'm going to focus on the top three for now. The value realizations of cloud from a business perspective to improve resilience and agility, improve decision-making through better data analytics, and innovate products and services. Those are the top three, and we're going to focus on the top three. All right, so improve resilience and agility. What does that mean? What does it mean in technical terms? What does it mean in business terms? What it means in technical terms is the ability to develop an application, have the application's transactions be serviced through microservices, through containerization, and the ability to have agnostic, that infrastructure that we were there, to have code that is agnostic of the infrastructure and that can be easily moved to a different location, whether that location is geographically strategic or whether that location is to sit closer to data, sit closer to a client endpoints. Resilience is for the application to withstand failures and to recover when there is a failure through redundancy and through what we know in the cloud through elasticity. So improve resilience, improve agility, and that is the service provided to the client. So improve decision making through better data analytics. This goes back from the back side of IT operations, IT service management. It goes through to making better business decisions based on transactions and visibility of transactions. It goes to better analytics across the board. And we'll look and explore that a little bit further into some key products and areas. Innovate products and services. So the 1 and 2 help to provide 3, if that makes sense. So if you look at this stepwise, resilience and agility and decision making through better analytics helps to enable products and services to for innovation. If you're already having problems with your legacy systems, if you don't have the agility, you might have a brilliant business model and business idea, but if you don't have the ability to develop, design, and deliver on that, then it doesn't matter. Your competition has that. How do you do that? It's partly through application modernization and containerization. And we'll look at that containerization more in depth. So if we break this down, we can have a more simplified, and we can have a more consistent articulation across the organization. Large enterprises, that is very important. So we could break that down in technological, organizational, and geographical. Where do we need to be? Where are our clients? How can we get there? What is the organizational talent that we have for retention recruitment? To do that, what are the technological investments and improvements that we need to make? So improve resilience and agility organizationally. That's agile transformation, digital transformation, DevOps, and DevSecOps. And so depending on the industry, that is what we can expect to continue to see improve, and where investments will be made. So improving resilience and agility from a technological standpoint, we can look at from a talent standpoint, and to the technology is in improvements in cloud architecture, reference architecture. I don't have it on here, but platforms as a service. And I really want to focus on infrastructure as code. Going back to that previous slide, going back to our earlier slide, that segment of the industry being a large portion because you expect growth as growth is expected. And again, back to the point that everything is software driven, software that is a set of instructions for infrastructure as code. And that is enabled by the technology called Terraform. You can expect to see Terraform be another investment. Next, containerization. So containerization, what is containerization? Docker, it is a simple way to put within a Docker container or some other container, is to put your code in a wrapper, and that wrapper to have an abstraction layer from the application code itself to elicit services. What are some of the services? Well, some of the service would be Istio service mesh, and I don't have it listed here because I'm going to go in depth just in Istio, just in service mesh. I wrote a brief article on Istio. You can take a look at it. Or rather, I'm in the process of writing an article just on service mesh and Istio. One of the very interesting things about this in terms of product innovation is you see that F5 started their own division just to focus on service mesh. So that's a big deal. That's a big trend. That's a big shift. That's a big focus. They have a business model built around just in Istio. And I should probably put this on the slide to reflect that. And we want to put that as related to containerization, service mesh. What is service mesh at a high level? It is the connection, it is the security, and it is the eliciting of services for routing, for rules in routing. It's like a traffic management. And if you know anything about cloud, you know that large streams, event streams, is what we're calling large streams of data, transactions, requests for transactions. You're going to see service mesh becoming very, very important. And we've already seen that evidence through the popularity of Istio, and again, what F5 has done just to spin up a whole division to focus on a branding and a division just to focus on that. So automation, AI ops. What is AI ops? If you're familiar with ITSM, IT service management, IT operations management, it is exactly what it says that it is. It's artificial intelligence for operations management, for IT operations management. And so responding to incidents, reducing incidents through automation, reducing human error, Those are all the things that AI ops, and that again deserves each one of these deserve a degree of exploration in and of themselves. So, all right. So improve decision through better analytics. What are the enterprise standards? ServiceNow, Tableau. ServiceNow is an ITSM, ITOM product. Tableau is a dashboard for analytics, and I have to tell you, in terms of just really valuable analytics and things that I've seen, both of these tools are great in their own right. They do different things, but I probably have an affinity for Tableau for good qualitative and quantitative analytics. And why are those analytics important? They're important because they help drive decisions for M&A activity, help drive business model innovation and experimentation. And that's on the organizational side, where we see the product owner, having more, and you might think of Tableau more traditionally as like the Scrum role, or the Kaizen, the continuous improvement person, because of the qualitative, quantitative metrics, whereas the product owner is aligned with business model, the vision, the voice of the customer. But that would be an error, because the negotiation and really understanding, and really that the practice of empiricism, what is right now, the vision, the voice of the customer has to line up with how delivery. And that's why, and where, these capabilities and these better data analytics, they drive those decisions. They drive the determination of, what can be developed, and they drive that negotiation from, that big product idea that, the staff VP, or, the CIO has the big idea. But when it comes to delivering, when it comes to the delivery, when it comes to, what increment of that big idea is a bite-sized chunk, then that's where this is so important. It's so critical to have that intelligence, to have that analytics, to have that capability, to have that, to be able to articulate and negotiate for what is needed to expand the operations, to expand, the development team, et cetera, to bring where the rubber meets the road to life. And so the product owner, if you see, there are lots and lots and lots of product owner, lots and lots of product owner jobs out there. And this is why, because of these priorities and the importance of the hub and the wheel, where the rubber meets the road. That's where the magic happens. All right, so that's organizationally. Technologically, if you look at the open source community and you look at what's happened in open source space and third party, HashiCorp is a huge innovator in the space with Terraform. That's the technology that actually implements and I'm going to put that in here. We want to make sure that we show this because it's so important to infrastructure as code, and that goes back also to DevOps. The importance of DevOps. Why is what is DevOps, and who enables DevOps? DevOps is the operational leaders who sit in the space between development and operations, to have that broker that relationship, and to leverage technology such as Terraform. And they're a very, very important part of success in cloud computing, and especially in large cross-functional organizations. So SaaS, ISV, and platforms, that goes back to the importance of containers. And SaaS, as you saw, is the largest segment within, and SaaS and containers go hand in hand. Application modernization, if you hear that, goes into this space. So SaaS, ISV, independent service software vendors, and platforms. Platforms being the integration of SaaS offerings with other SaaS offerings. So Salesforce would be a primary example of that. So you can see these technologies that are going to become more integrated, and how the SaaS space itself is going just to continue to grow in its complexity. And the other is geographical and regional. I got to visit the American Underground recently. It's really, really, really a great campus. It was really a neat experience. Shout out to the folks out there, Tim Scales on the growth side of things. It was really neat to see the Google Tech Hub. And I've seen this in other spaces, and I kind of nerd out on this space because I like startups. And MIT has written the things on regions and the five stakeholders, risk equity, the entrepreneur, government, uh, and institutions, corporate. So in that, this is such a large portion of the labor force. There's a 5-year life cycle for jobs, and that is in the 52.6, I think, percent of, if memory serves me correctly, of the labor force comes from a 5-year life cycle in startups. So you're going to see that regionally. You're going to see partnerships. You're going to see, back to the M&A activity. You'll the data center that is the leader. I have this outlined in a very extensive article on Kubernetes and the overall cloud, and it's in on my LinkedIn, so you can check that out. Check out that article on my LinkedIn. Leave comments, questions, what you want to see next. Get in touch. So cloud race, cloud architecture implications. What are the implications here? Big work streams. What are work streams? Big volumes of data, requests. So prioritize workload management. That's going to be a very important, and it'll be a growing importance. It goes back to the analytics. Knowing your business, knowing your business model, knowing how prioritization of workload management works from a technological standpoint. Another, we continue to see modernization, containerization to reduce on operational expenditure, to have the CapEx to invest in your cloud, and then infrastructure as code, powered automation. We talked about that, Terraform and DevOps, and the DevOps are the folks that have that. So it's a little bit of redundancy, but this is how your cloud architecture folks should be aligned with these customer needs. All right, so the PMO implications are, moving closer and closer to the business side and bridging the worlds of technology, ITSM, ITOM, DevOps, DevSecOps, the whole kit and caboodle here. So business model improvement, innovations, data ecology and monetization, KPI dashboard enhancements, third-party service provider innovation, increased focus on DevSecOps. Why increased focus on DevSecOps? Because of all the incidents that we've had of late, and because of some of the state of security. I think I put this, right here. One of the Red Hat, I highly recommend. It's a Kubernetes state of security research. It was very insightful. So really fast and quick here overview of some of the things in the cloud race, some of the trends. Let me know what you're seeing. Everything changes very rapidly. There's some new technology. One of the ones that I've had a keen eye on and looking at is this AI for DevOps, AI ops. Not just for incident management, but for actually CI/CD activity. So, artificial intelligence, machine learning for the actual CI/CD pipeline is something that we can look at as a trend and a new product with a lot of opportunity. And there's a lot of opportunity. This is a continual innovation space. Let me know what you're seeing. I want to keep up with the latest trends here and see where the opportunities are. Well, happy Monday, and enjoy your time in the cloud race.